Hello, welcome to the channel. Okay, we're gonna do a quick weekend reading. As you may tell from the title, it does involve some karmic energies that have been channeled for your information, basically stating that folks that have been engaging in toxic behaviors and trading favor for funds, other forms of material abundance, that those obviously karmic people that have squandered the favor that they received for their contribution. Okay. All, whatever you want to call it, right? Let the judge decide. Anyway, um, yeah. So it's like, yeah, they got something for this and that, but I don't know. They still don't got that new car. That back porch still ain't fixed. Like, whatever it is, um, personally, I have a weather impediment right now because it's winter in order to finish my fence. But, I'm holding, I'm like holding and saving that money for, the rest of my fence, right? Not just running out and squandering it on toxic, short-lived thrills, right? That aren't investing it back into what I am trying to manifest in, my lifetime, right? And in the lives of others. So that is part of the title. This it was also coming through queen of, not just mayor of, but queen of. This, it's like it's a town in their imagination where they're in charge, and it's like they've been appointed in charge, like male and female, like they're the male and female counterparts of this, and yeah, for their toxicity, it's like now they get to um see what it means to actually work for something, right? In a way, okay? Yeah. So, for some of you, if you know these people, it may be have been due to a manipulation of their gifting, right? In a way, say it that way, because that can apply to many situations. But in the background, I have some money manifestation, meditation music going on. Again, it's like you're planning for the future. You're living in the day, in the moment, but you're also planning for the future. But yes, you may hear about these folks past kind of coming up, and that may be involve some people, because in those situations, obviously, there are people that will try and still contact you after the fact, even though you've long moved on from the situation. They should not be contacting you, period. And then they're asking for some kind of favor, right? And it's like, well, the last time I was around you, I didn't really get favored too much in the eyes of, what we're supposed to be doing here on earth, right? So I'm going to stay away from you yet again, right? I feel like is the message for somebody as well. For specific energy, again, that could be male or female manifesting for you. So like the title says, mayor of, you could put queen of. This person could be another kind of queen as well. um don't want to discriminate, I can't be, I don't want to leave anything out, right? So anyway, let me get a sip of my tea here. So tea is hot, folks. Tea is hot today, but we are going to pull some tarot. I also heard, so I have the money manifestation meditation thing going in the background. Manifesting abundance for you in 2025 is what it's about, right? You're like, what? They're still doing that? They're still playing that old game? Yes. Yes. It's like you might hear an update, and the way you might hear an update is if they try and contact you. Okay. Otherwise, it could be like through social acquaintances or friends or somebody kind of coming towards you to like test you as a barometer, right? Oh, did you hear about so and so? And you could be like, huh? Right? Some of you are literally gonna be like, huh? Like, who are you even talking about anymore, right? Because you've moved on. Hi there, Tony. Have a wonderful weekend. Yes. As a reminder, if you are in the chat, please do be respectful and leave each other some kind messages as you get through your weekend. Maybe you're celebrating your holidays this weekend now that New Year's has officially transpired into 2025, right? Maybe you had to work during the holiday season. So, this is your weekend. If so, enjoy your weekend, right? Enjoy that discounted champagne, right? Hopefully that you got, okay, that you can enjoy in the peace and solitude of your own home, right? Um, collective, just because other people have toxic behaviors doesn't mean that you have them as well. Somebody around you may overdrink, therefore, it's kind of like being around an ex-smoker, like they're the worst because they complain about it the most, right? But it's like, okay. Some people that used to drink alcohol, it's kind of like that. They get very preachy around other people, and it's like, I'm not the one with the problem here. So, you know, like, so for some of you, you might benefit from like going to Al-Anon or something like that. Um, There's also like a Codependence Anonymous, I believe. Kind of like because a lot of people that get into those situations, it's like they're enabling somebody because there's some kind of codependency issue that they're struggling, right? Um, and I feel like for codependence, the thing is that most codependents have that go on the path of healing, that go on the path of self-help, that go on the path of, maybe I need to check out one of these goofy tarot readers today and see if anything's going to benefit me. Oh, what's she talking about? Healing? Yeah, I haven't even flipped over a card yet, and we're already almost 8 minutes into the reading. Okay, this is a channeling for you who needs that healing. Okay. Yeah, let's get Tammy Faye Baker up here or something. You know what I'm saying? Wait, I didn't put all my mascara on. Dude, she's the original eyelash lady, right? Uh, Tammy Faye in the house. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? That's another message I was getting too about this abundance, you guys. So, uh, for some of you, this is going to be a very just affirming time. Because what you're going to be able to do is, instead of feeling guilty about, oh, I didn't put any money in the little Salvation Army bucket, you know, again, or you know what I mean, when you're just like, or you don't want to deal, then you're just like, oh, I'll say I don't have any cash on me, or I'll go out a different exit. You know what I mean? There's all sorts of things where you can avoid. You're going to be able, and you're not going to have to worry about if you're going to need that $5 somewhere down the road, because the way you're going to be able to pay it forward, you're going to be abundant in that way. Okay. So obviously that's a small gifting, and there's other people who can make larger gifting. So I feel like collective, for many of you, this is going to be the year that, a lot of those things that you had wanted to do, and maybe previously the way you were doing it, you were giving of yourself, but there were people that were taking advantage of it, right? So, that's the thing. It's like, no, it's not that I don't want to help the homeless. Maybe I just don't want to specifically, you know, I don't know this person or their story, blah, blah, maybe it's better for you to go through an organization. where folks can go in and get registered and blah, blah. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes that degree of separation collective is necessary for it to go and be distributed to the right people. Because just because you see somebody on the street doesn't mean that they're actually representing a struggle. Okay. So, that's part of the illusions that are being revealed as well in 2025. Okay. And since it's like now the wind has shifted and it's at your back, so you're not going to be struggling anymore, where it's like, oh, well, maybe next time I can do that, but like you're going to be able to do it, right? And you're going to be able to feel good about it and not have to worry about it. You know what I mean? You're still going to be cognizant. Like, I don't think you're going to be spendthrift or whatever, is not what I'm saying, but it's just, yeah, and you're gonna understand the impact of how in somebody else's life that benefits. Somebody in the chat says they are 420 only, which thank God it's being recognized more medicinally across the country and across the world for that matter. And yeah, the cannabis plant itself has many, many uses, both industrial and medicinal. So yes, I happen to have a med card for the cannabis plant in the state that I live in the United States. So um, I still do like drink some wine or like, hey, when I was in my college days or 20s, binge drinking, it's like that was the social activity. Some part, have you ever been to college? Like, you know that's kind of part of it, right? That doesn't mean you have to participate, right? But that doesn't mean that somebody else participating in like a moderate way is bad, right? Like too much of anything can be bad, right? Too much tarot can be bad, too much TV time, screen time. I was talking about screen time the other day. um being cognizant of, maybe you get stuck watching the news, right? And it's like the same story over and over. It's like, okay, um it's like, are you a reporter or do you just need to tune in, right? Tune in, get the message, and then come back out, right? And that's how kind of tapping in and out of this energy is collective too, where you need to protect your energy more in 2025 from interferences, all right? So that you can achieve the goals that you are moving forward to toward. Okay, and the things that you're guided towards. And no, this somebody's gonna be like, look, she's making a dramatic symbol with her hand. Right. 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 To party. Alrighty then. Yeah, it's definitely Friday. Okay. Like, I don't care if it's the holidays. That's a squirrely Friday feeling. All right, I'm gonna get one more sip and I am going to start pulling some cards here. I think I'm gonna get started with um uh, I haven't used the anyway. Happy weekend, you guys. I hope you guys are as in a good as mood as I am. Maybe it's because I'm back home after running my Friday errands, so I have to be out there, among the traffic. Right. So not only holiday season, also weekend traffic. Um, always be careful. Wear your safety, right? And I took the dog for a walk while we were out and got to go down by the water. The town that I live in, we have a river that cuts through the town. So there's many spots along the river to um, enjoy the scene. But it was quite windy. Like I was feeling like I needed one of those, ski masks or something. to stay out there much longer. The dog didn't mind. She's built for this stuff. Like the other day I couldn't find her and she was like in the other room, like in the sunroom, which is not insulated, like taking a nap. Like, okay, yeah, you do you, boo, right? And I feel like that's how some of these people collective that have tried to come in and out of your energy, right? And now you're like protecting your energy. You're like, look, hey man, you want to be the mayor of, Stinkville and Broughton Crotch Village? I mean, I don't, yeah, who am I to stop you? You know, air's fresh and clean over here. All right. So, don't cry over spilled milk, collective, right? They're crying over the spilled milk. Meanwhile, you got a cow over here, and they know it, right? They know they've been had, and you haven't been had. So that's another message that came out the other day. The title of the reading is They Fell for It, You Didn't. Okay, so as you are meditating about what you want in 2025, manifesting your abundance, not only financially, but emotionally as well. Okay, visualizing things just coming to you. All right, so that you know that, like, okay, that $5 that was in my purse, it's not in there anymore, but I know there's another coming, right? And I know how to get it so that I feel good about it, right? hmm Collective, you're not trying to manipulate anybody. I think I need to do a Celtic cross for you guys. Kind of getting that right now. And I have not done one in a while. This is actually the ideal deck. This is one of the first decks that I purchased. I think I might have gotten this one at Barnes and Noble actually, which I was just at today to pick up some calendars. Because Menards had no calendars, and Five Below store had like two left, and they were like cartoons, and I was not, it just wasn't a thing. Anyway, so Ace of Pentacles, yeah, it's like somebody wanting to try and stop you from manifesting what's going to keep you emotionally healthy. And it's like for some of you collective, you have to decide that now is the time to step into it, right? Right. You know what? This is an opportunity that's worth looking at. This is something for me to pay more attention to, right? This is something that I can invest in. And not only that, it's going to provide me some peace of mind. Okay, so that I don't have to be opening my eyes, sleeping with one eye open, saying who's getting into that, who's getting into that, right? Like what? I mean, I've lived with people that have stolen from me in more ways than one, and it's like, wow, you really do me like that, huh? So, I heard lowest of the low. That's what I heard. Okay, so whoever this mayor is in in your area or queen, like I mentioned before, yeah, you could be resonating here. Because it's like the second it's because they know something a little bit about you, so that the second they see anything, they're like, oh, I bet it's because of this, I bet it's because of that, because I know all their business. It's like, what do you mean you know their business? You haven't actually been allowed to even speak to them in some cases, right? In some cases, folks, this is like it would be a violation. Yeah. So it's like, who are these people listening to anybody about what you're doing over here? I would say some of those folks need a serious attitude adjustment, readjustment, period of adjustment was a movie I was channeling the other day. It might need more than that for some folks, right? And beyond. Okay. So again, some of these things are going to be out of your control, right? So definitely just focus on your current tasks. All right. There's going to be a lot of people trying to, like, especially if you are in a corporate environment, there's going to be a lot of people trying to block your calendars with meetings, 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 right? Here's a tip, pro tip. Go out there and block your calendar so that you have work time, so you can achieve the things that you need to actually achieve during the day. Because what you're doing by accepting all these meetings, you're actually agreeing to do these other people's work, right? And what are you getting out of it, right? In fact, they're getting out of you, not the other way around. And then when it comes time to review, right? Then it's like, well, what did you do all day? What did you do all year? What do you mean? I was in every friggin' meeting. You were sitting right next to me, dumbass, right? Like the Office Space vibes, like, yeah, yeah. So for some of you might be going out on your own, starting your own business. This could be a side hustle, a type thing where, but eventually for some of you, you might have to, break away and make that decision. Be like, I can't burn the candle at both ends or whatever it is, right? I feel like for some of you, you're definitely going to have some scheduling conflicts though, but they're going to be on your time. Right? It's your calendar now, that they're trying to work into, and they can't. It's like, yeah, maybe my secretary can find a way to pencil you in, but probably not, it's going to be and it's not even going to be you delivering the message. It might literally be your secretary or your, now they say administrative assistant, but like, you know, welcome to reality 101, right? Now you might have to work for something on your own. That's another thing too I was hearing. Yeah, look at this. Look at this collective. You found what was important to you. You know how to work for something and what you want. hmm And you know how to be happy with what you have. That's part of why you are going to be receiving this abundance in 2025. For some of you, this could even be an abundance of time. Maybe, maybe whatever this pinnacle is, this side hustle of yours, maybe it's going to make enough so that, you can stay home more and like go to your kids' games or something, or some people do these traveling teams and all this stuff. You know what I mean? That's a huge, huge time commitment that not every parent has the luxury of doing. And I feel like for some of you collective, because of your diligence, like that's like something that's going to start happening for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're going to be good at it, right? Because you're already busting your tail enjoying this part, right? So get ready, right? Get ready. Yeah. Is that the four tops or temptations? Okay. Might be the four tops. Get ready, cause here I come. Get ready. Fun, fun, and okay. Anyway. Um, yeah, 5 of wands. Look at that. Yeah, your schedule getting busy, right? It's like they're knocking on the wizard's door out there and like, okay, finally, it's like Dorothy and her crew gets in, right? But how many people before had gotten turned away by that wizard? Quite a lot. Enough that he was able to build that big machine and everything. Like, yeah, that's pretty significant. And they're coming at you now, right? Saying, let me in, let me in, let me in. Okay. And it's like you're like that Buddhist monk. There's such a man on a mountain. Okay. Again, you guys saw that reading the other day. It's like it's she is giving that, I also like some Bruce Lee too. Enter the Dragon. They always used to play that um on TV when I was a kid, like on like Saturdays or Sundays, especially when it was like, a day when it's like NASCAR on sports, it's like, okay, I can't watch NASCAR. I gotta flip around the channels, and then it's like, oh, okay, I can watch this Bruce Lee guy kick some people's butt. And if you notice in Bruce Lee's movies, he's often a solo character. He might have a couple allies, he might have a couple friends, but in Enter the Dragon, he takes on the entire private island and drug enterprise of Mr. Lee, I believe his name is in the movie, right? And Bruce, he even said in an interview, or in his bio or something, I read about it, that he had a like trans like some kind of transcendental experience, like out of body experience while he was filming that scene, that very famous scene where he's walking, through, and all of it is, and then he gets the cloth, you know what I'm talking about. You guys know. It's just, they don't make this stuff like oh man, that's a good one. You know what I mean? It's like, and yeah, how hard are you cheering for him, right? But it's like, but if you had to stand beside him, it'd be like, are you sure, Bruce? Like, there's a lot of guards on this island. You know what I mean? Like, literally the Bob Hope. Okay, you guys are hilarious. I love it. Anyway, uh, it's so funny. Yeah, there's or Shaggy, right? I don't know, Scoops, and Scoops like, yeah, right? But and there's all going, okay, no, there's nothing to be scared of. It's just a bunch of cobwebs, right? And that's part of it, is that some of these people are so scared to get up and clean a couple little cobwebs. And it's like, well, nothing would ever get solved that way, would it? We all realize it's not the cobwebs to get scared of. It's, old so and so raising the rent on everybody. Am I right? Evil. It's crime and hate. Like, let people live, you know? They're advertising some new apartments over in Russia for like 4, 5, $600 a month, and in US dollars, and for an average Russian, that's like mostly unattainable. It's only like the top 10% of Russians could even afford that, right? And our rent is how much? You know what I mean? Like, holy cow. Yeah. And where these apartments, where it's a nice building, but in the middle of a frozen tundra snowstorm. I'll just take it seasonally. Thank you very much. Thank you. Mhm. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. Knight of Swords. You could have been involved with an air sign, somebody that had air highly aspected in their chart, somebody who's, oh, they're so chatty until they're not, and scene, right? I feel like you closed the door on this so long ago, collective. That's maybe why they have this kind of mask, like this protective gear over their face too, because it's like, ooh, I don't even know. Yeah. Two of Wands. Yeah. Again, you may just end up observing some of this karmically playing out, like, you know, they thought they were the mayor, but in fact, you have the better view. They thought they were the queen, but in fact, you have the better view. You have the better perspective, collective. Allowing you, oh, what did all those readers say? Options, right? This person thought they had options, and you're like, oh, okay, that's what you called an option. Okay, I get it. All right. I realize I was fooling with the wrong one. Okay. Right, collective, because you showed them you are not the one. You're not the one to be fooled. Not in this way. Again, yeah, many will knock at the door, but few will be asked to enter. Right? What's the secret password? Right? Thank you for the likes if you are in the chat today. Again, I'm surprised that it's so light here. I think it's because I'm on my other device. Because when I'm on my mobile, it's just like I get so many more people coming in. So I don't know. It's like a weird, I feel like it's on a different bandwidth through the programming of YouTube or something. Anyhow, I don't know. I'm not a developer there. I'm just an average user. 10 of Wands, yeah. And collective, this person putting you in the okay, so they are like the average using type of person, basically. They presented themselves as something else. You let them know that it's like they have to pack up all their burdens now and go. And you might actually see this happen. So you might see somebody maybe selling their house, maybe moving for a new job opportunity or something. And, you have the option to wish them well, right? Part of the reason some of these people become the mayors and queens of their little villas is because they don't let this stuff go. They don't let it go, and then they manifest toxic behaviors. All right. So if you would rather see that exit, right? Yeah, there's that, let them silently move on, right? At a certain time, they have to stop crying and pack their bags, and then, you're going to close the door, and that's going to be it, right? And they're going to be on their way. For some, it might be in a police car, but hopefully, but it's kind of like that where you're like, where it's like this person's always up to a new scheme, and you just had it. So that's part of this as well with this 10 of Wands. Like, oh, you wanted to play it like that? Well, let me show you a glimpse of the consequences. Starting with, you can do it on the outside of these four walls that I own and that I contribute to, that I pay for, that I save for, that I clean for, that I cook for. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. What? There's no living maid servant? No. You know what I mean? You know, it's like some of these people never been to kindergarten. Okay. What was I saying the other day about those Japanese schools? Teaching them kids to pick up after themselves. They clean the rooms and they make the food at the school. I believe in Japan they show video on YouTube. You can see everything in the world today. Okay. So, ignorance is a choice at a certain point, folks, especially in today's world. Everybody has access to the internet. Almost everybody has a cell phone. especially some people under the age of 40. I mean, come on, right? There are people that run their entire business on their cell phone, right? There's even jokes about that, right? The how do you know if the men in your family are in business for themselves? Because none of them are sitting down at the freaking table. They're all, catching up on their voicemails from earlier in the day when they were driving around their trucks because they're not supposed to be talking on the phone and driving at the same time. So take that for what you will, ladies or gents who are like, so you want him to make money or not, honey? Okay, he can talk to you later. Talk to him on the weekend, folks. Okay, make up for it a little bit. Set some time aside. Valentine's come around. Okay, get your thinker going now. They already got the candy out in the store. Go buy it now. Sit it in your truck in a bag or something. It'll stay frozen and fresh until Valentine's. Okay, you know what I'm saying. Put the flower order in now. You got the money in your pocket. See, this is what I'm talking about. You have the abundance now, right? Put it to good use. Don't be like the mayor and queen of these villas, crying when the rent's due, saying, "Oh, I already squandered all my money that people gave me for Christmas and all of the tips I earned on the holidays. And well, what'd you do with it? Well, yeah, you don't want to know what they did with it, do you? Because it's the same old routine about toxic behaviors and things that they shouldn't be spending their money on, you know? Anybody know a gambling addict? I mean, they got those warning signs all over on in every, everywhere that there's gambling, they got the warning signs everywhere. So obviously for some people it's a problem. Don't make it your problem. Okay? Seek out a counselor, seek out some support groups, okay? All right. Because you have a life to live. Okay. And it's not, you're mayor or queen of a different villa. Okay. Not the one that they are. All right. And it's like they want you to stay and visit and hang out and chill. And you're like, well, I'm like, it's not that I can't hang out. It's like that I'm actually managing my entire own villa property with lots of little mini villas contained within it with a lot of high profile clients. So yeah, it's like you don't have time for it. So mail me a postcard or something. I don't know, whatever. Get inventive. So for some of you also, this abundance in time is going to allow you to tap into your creativity. Um, maybe you're actually going to like go to one of those paint class, go to one of those paint night things. Or maybe there's like a little pottery, like paint your own pottery studio in town. Like anything just kind of to get the juices flowing, right? Okay. Yeah, I don't feel like that's your energy, Clarissa. It's crazy. Um, yeah, the thing is, it's like somebody's gonna, yeah, they don't have the passcode to like the new, it's like their passcode doesn't work, and then, yeah, imagine seeing that on camera when your ex tries to come into your house and you change the passcode on them, and then they rip the passcode thing completely off of the side of the house in anger. Yeah, tower moment. You've been, yeah, you've been declined, right? So if you have anybody like that in your life, collective, I would highly advise you, um, you know, involve the proper authorities because people like that can be unpredictable and very dangerous. I mean, I've had to obtain an order of protection before. It's not hard. Knight of Pentacles. And I'm not talking about I saw them out with their new girlfriend, boyfriend at whatever place that you were working at and you threw a little hissy fit. I'm not talking about that. Those are for petty betties and people that need to grow up, grow some, the only thing that they can grow is the silicone in their, yeah, this bubble brains. They're bubble brains. I'm sorry. Wow. Oh, yeah. So this is in your environment. It's like whoever needed to make something right took way too long about making it right because it's like they're just starting to, I don't know, dude. It's just that might be what you're having to see them do is the starting over, and you're like, it might be something where you like change the channel, you know? Oh, they got that too. Fine. Okay, good. Next. I need a different book. Like I made it to chapter 16 and a half or whatever, and then I went to the last page and it's like I can fill in the blanks from there. I'm good. Some of all this character development and stuff, it's hard to it's these days people are extremely lacking in character. Uh God rest his soul, Jimmy Carter, who just passed away, famously remarked about a crisis of confidence. Well, I would argue in today's world there's a crisis of character. Sorry, it's kind of getting a little dark on this message, guys, which I mean the sun is going down, but still got the money manifestation. So that's the thing, like I said earlier, like you gotta stay focused. You have to stay focused. Because these things are gonna come in and they're gonna want to rattle you around like in the pinball wizard machine. Again, here we go. Here we go. You're getting more channeling. So yesterday, I love music. I'm a musician. I have an Ophelia's band channel as well, where I have some original music as well as some covers and stuff, especially for my Dead Hard friends, right? I have a Dead Hard playlist out there of music that I've done. So if you go out there to my Ophelia's band channel and do that if you would like. Now, what was I just saying? Yeah, trying to type this in the chat, you guys. Anyway, I put it in there. That's also what I use for my Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all that stuff, you guys. So, if you see it listed in the main description of the channel or the video, then it's legitimate. Let's Okay, so King of Swords again. Somebody who went from hot to extremely cold, like so cold, Siberian cold. I'm not buying an apartment in Russia. I don't care that it's brand spankling new for 500 something dollars. I don't want to live in Russia, right? It's like they're selling you it's the slick propaganda, right? Again, that channeling of the reading I had the other day. They fell for it, you didn't. Okay. If I can, I'll probably go back and watch the reading, you guys. If I can think of what I was talking about, I'll put a comment in. You guys know I usually post out every reading out to the community tab. Look at this, the lovers. Wow. So yes, collective, this is your year, like we Cubs fans like to say, right? And 26, anyway. Um, yeah. Yeah. This person could be upset seeing you move on. Yeah, it's gonna be like these things. You're gonna hear some stuff, but it's not gonna stop you from moving on. No. I feel like the love that you're going to have for this person is also going to be abundant, whereas in previous times, lifetimes, whatever, it may have been a scarcity mindset. And it may have been that in part because you were not in that self love, self respect, self asserting mode yet. Like, the guy in Office Space, Serge, he was like, like he so badly wants to tell off somebody, and they're just like, keep piling the stuff in there, keep piling stuff. I mean, doesn't he eventually set the building on fire or something? I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of like that where it's like, it's not that you didn't feel it inside. It's like you didn't know how to assert yourself yet. And now that you're doing so in a healthy manner, you're going to be rewarded. Okay, so that could be part of this abundance that is coming through. Okay. So obviously if you are a single person, right, and you're used to your alone time, right? Again, staying focused. Like some people be like, oh, I can't change my routine. I can't you know what I mean, getting all bent out of shape. Okay, again, period of adjustment. Reference in that previous reading. It's also a movie. Check it out. Check it out. Is it District 9 or District 13? I cannot remember, you guys. It was like a movie about like the aliens like coming, right? But I was kind of like getting this vision earlier of like, all those robots that like Elon's, making, all those humanoid robots. And it's like, is that what he's gonna like send over to South Africa for, to do what with, or send where? Like, where are those things going to go? What are they going to be used for? Like humanitarian efforts, like, are going to be something, a certain number of, and that's part of it too. It's like this crisis of character. It's like, what are we supporting? You know, so a lot of you collective that you've worked really hard on healing and stuff, you're like, yeah, I'm not getting unhealed because you don't want to. Some people be like, "Oh, well, you're healed, so now you can help me again." Like, no, that's not how it works. You already done got stitched up. You're not opening that wound anymore. It got cleaned out. There was, maybe a little piece of cinder left over of the bullet, right? You know what I mean? Something like that is real, like just enough to irritate you, But hey, man, aren't you still living? Literally dodged a bullet, dodged a bullet. And this person's coming at you with 10 of them saying, and you're like, dude, I'm not freaking Neo from the Matrix, man. Get off my lawn, right? Matrix was coming through earlier today too, you guys. I've been getting a lot of movies, like it's probably because it's this winter season. We're supposed to get, I mean, it's already the lows have dropped down. Like it's no longer pleasant to be outside. Like I said, we were down by the waterfront, on the waterfront, another Yeah, I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody, you know. They say it's never too late to make an impact, right? Some people never got famous until after they were long gone, right? Like Vincent Van Gogh, right? Some of us are not going to see the extent of the impact until we are granted from a different viewpoint. And for a lot of you, collective 2025 is now your chance, right? To say, wow, I have this viewpoint now that is showing me I don't need to engage in this behavior. I don't need to, I can acknowledge that it's happening, but you're like, it's like, this is my classroom. You're engaging in that behavior. It's time for you to go see the principal. And then it's no longer your problem for the rest of the day, is it? Okay. You're being, yeah. And then thank God, it's like somebody is on your side. It's like, okay, yeah, there are a couple people that show up at the end of that Enter the Dragon, and then they help get everybody off the island or whatever, right? After Bruce has already done all the tough work, duh, right? But it's like, yeah, now you're being granted a little reprieve here to see, like, yeah, look what amazing things can happen. Breaking free from the burdens of others that do not belong to you. They simply do not. Does that mean you don't have empathy for others? Of course, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about getting out of, being manipulated, right? On some endless loop that somebody just thought, right? Mary Mo, she's a vegetarian. She don't like meat, but she sure likes to what? Go check out that song. They played that at one of anyway, it's in like a movie, but it was very, very popular in the time. Okay. And it's like, and if you listen to that song, it's like she's independent, you know what I mean? He kind of finds her mysterious, right? Not like other girls type vibe. Anyway. Ooh, all right. Two of Pentacles. Yeah. So for some of you, you might have to decide, maybe you've been in business already for yourself and it's like now it's time to switch gears and put that aside. Maybe you found a dependable manager where you can kind of take your foot off the gas a little bit, right? We know how these executive types are, right, folks, right? It's like you have a vacation house where and you never use it. Oh, I see. Okay. You're married to your work, right? Some people are, right? But this is, the great beyond asking you to weigh here some other possibilities, options, if you will, right? It's so gross to me how people want to quantify other human beings as, yeah, I can't wrap my mind around it, collective. But that's the level in which some folks are going to continue to function, and learning to accept that is going to be part of manifesting your abundance as well. So that's why I would highly suggest, if you have not begun like on a healing journey yet in 2025, definitely like seek out, that objective opinion to say, like, what are you getting out of the situation? And maybe you need some group support, because the thing is, when you start going out there, you'll start seeing the same patterns, the same, literally down to the same words over and over and over, that these people will use in order to manipulate, or toxify, the livelihoods of other people. Okay. So, Quora, like, I know Reddit's very popular right now, but Quora is also very good. And like, some people, they have like little profiles, and they'll say like, they're a psychologist or something. Whether or not they are, obviously you go research that. But there are some topics by um claiming to be professionals, in that subject matter. Obviously, this is a collective reading, so you must use your own discernment. Not every message is for everybody in the reading, not even. Um, that's the thing about a reading, right? It's like it could be happening to you or somebody around you, right? Sometimes this is even like a test to see if you're paying attention, right? Yeah. So yeah, collective, I feel like emotionally in 2025, you definitely have a hold of yourself. So that might be something to celebrate as well. Okay. Um, I feel like you're definitely going to be logically making decisions here. All right, because you're gonna see, it's going to be very tangible to you, the way that it's working out, or the worth of it in this current cycle or phase that you are in. Okay. I am going to pull from the conversation deck a little bit and see some other messages you can get here, see if any of these resonate with you. Yeah, I'm also getting that whoever these little mayors and queens are, they're like wannabes, right? This is like, these are people that will sit around being like, oh, I'm a queen of wands, oh, I'm a king of pentacles, and it's like, what do you mean you're a king of pentacles? You've never hardly worked a day in your life. Well, but I'm the king. No, you, in your own mind, dude. Okay. Because in reality, some of these people would be like, "Oh, I'm king of castle." Like, you don't have a castle. What are you talking about? This is like, it's some for some people, it's like their delusion is so strong that this tower may get to them, like, like that Nancy in that movie. You know the one I'm talking about, The Craft. Yeah, she's like, I had all these powers. It's like, and they're like, we bind you, Nancy. We bind you from doing harm. We bind you from doing harm to yourself, and we bind you from doing harm to others. Because why must they go out of their way, right? And then they want to be calling you up. No, you need to go back to the pawnbroker. Okay. No wonder it came up the other day in the reading. I was talking about that Pawn Stars, Vegas. Yeah, anyway. Um, yeah, you've rung the bell like Rocky. Yeah, Rocky was coming for the other day too. So yeah, everybody wants to be Rocky, right? But does everybody want to have to train like Rocky? Does everyone actually want to get hit in the face multiple times like Rocky did? You know? Pop up. Somebody could want to pop up on you specifically asking for help. I would yeah. Again, for some of you that have like assistants or whatever, like you're gonna be like, yeah, hold all calls from that person, you know. I even had to do that through the mail because I let them know. I was like, this person doesn't live here. I have a restraining order against him. Like the mail made a note of it, so like they couldn't try and use my address, as their residence, because that's well, I don't know if that's technically mail fraud, but it's probably something worth investigating. Play. Yeah. So part of this abundance that you're going to have, being able to help others, that's going to be kind of like, this is fun. This feels like playing. Like, it almost feels like you're playing Monopoly a little bit. Okay. And the thing is, because you're not manifesting toxic behaviors out of it, you are going to, be able to enjoy, right? It's like, oh gosh, I wish the rest of my family could go on this vacation with me. Well, you know what? Maybe another time. For now, just enjoy it, on your own. It's like releasing yourself from all of this noise, okay? And just living in the moment a little bit, collective, okay? It could almost be therapeutic for you as well. You might also want to check out, maybe you're somebody who's like, look, I've done this or that. Maybe you want to check out like a structured retreat or something where like, they make you do yoga one time a day, or you have some kind of group activity once a day or whatever. You know what I mean? Where you can kind of socialize and like do your own thing or whatever. Um, because it's gonna free your mind up to explore, right? And get into this mindset. Okay. Phony. Anything that this person tells you about their tower, just kind of, you know who these people are. There's a reason you changed the passcode, there's a reason you changed the passcode. I don't owe you any explanations. Yeah. Um, this is kind of the cutoff vibe that you need to be giving, especially for these people with their hands out, right? Um, it's like the referee has come in. Nobody is allowed to take any more swings at Rocky, even from the floor, right? Because that's basically what they're doing. They're like, dude, it's like, dang, get out of here. Yeah, go. That's, and they're like, well, the ref's like, get out of here. And a ref doesn't have to explain it after that. You're done. You're done. So again, you guys kind of like that, whatever that guy in Office Space, like, my decor, baby, right? It's like there's that seed of hope. There's that seed of strength. Is that Alexa? Hang on. Alexa, turn it on. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it's like, but it's gonna come through as it's gonna be like, no, you can't put that in my office cubicle. I don't have room for it right now, you know? Um, no, I can't attend that meeting. I have another obligation. And leave it at that. That's all you have to say. That's all you have to say. Just trust me, when you get into that meeting, when you get into their lies, when you get into their manipulations, right? Is it going to be worth your time to hear it? Alexa, turn it off, please. You know? And, instead of this being part of your fear, it needs to just be part of your hope, period. Okay. So part of the time that you have, maybe putting time into that as well. Okay. Maybe some of this family stuff is like, it's like putting time into the family is like part of, putting time into your relationship, right? Yeah, take which energy resonates with you. I know that's mentioned some others. This reading is kind of going a little long here, so I'll cut it up here in a minute or two. I'm about ready to close out the message myself. You are so attractive to me. Yeah, whoever this person is, it's like, you two look good together, what I mean? Like you're just an attractive couple together type thing. Um, yeah, and they're gonna be attracted to you as well, collective. It's not gonna be like, oh, well, you know what? The queen of this little villa over here, her fake bazongas are stacked up to here and wow, I just can't get enough. No, nobody's going to be saying any of that to you. They're going to be focused on you. You know what I mean? Oh, did you see that repair guy? I mean, geez, he's kind of built, right? No, it's not, nobody's going to be trying to do that. That's that is not divine. That's why they are in the villa that they are. Again, they don't have the passcode to your villa. Okay, so they have their mayor and queen of their own little poop towns. Okay, because they're poop heads. They like poop. They're happy with their own poop. Let them be happy. Let them. Yes. Look at this collective. Somebody knows you mean business. I was really channeling earlier, kind of like this, like a fake mean Joan Crawford vibe, which everybody knows, like the whole "Mommy Dearest" thing and everything. But like somebody is seeing you as somebody who's very accomplished and knows how to get things done. And that's where they're like, yes, I want that one. Yeah. They're like, yep, ring bell, ring bell, ring it up, ring it up, ring it up, ring it up. I'm good. I'm good. Maybe that's when they got knocked TF out, was when they looked your way and then it was like, boom, it was over. It was over. Yeah. Okay. So maybe I will close out with I'm gonna do a couple. Yeah, let's do the light worker messages here. Close you out with some positive energy for 2025. So again, if you're not sure, collective, I mean, some of this stuff coming in is just a distraction. Definitely stay focused. Okay. Keep working, digging through that goal. That's part of why there's people coming in and around, because they know you are productive. You know, planting a seed in your backyard is going to yield something. All right. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Maybe you're supposed to start a garden. You know, maybe that's specific for somebody. Okay. Maybe that's going to be part of your calling. Growing organic produce or something. S- Mirror. Who or what is triggering you? Okay. So if for some reason, collective, you are not focused, what is triggering you? Is it news of, this person? Is it, maybe you don't like heights and it's like, but you, in order to see the view, you're gonna have to go up into this tower and take a look, right? And the reason why this person is hitting the tower, right? They're encountering the tower is because they didn't want to go up top and look and take on a perspective that, somebody greater than us was trying to show, you know? Hey man, I think it's aliens. I don't care who's showing you the freaking message. Just get it, understand it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Call it what you want, man. I call it if you don't, you're acting like a jerk. How about that? Haven't you ever heard? Ignorance is no excuse of not knowing the law. Okay? The big wide world out there. Go do some research. Go educate yourself. Well, I didn't grow up with this. YouTube University, man. Get busy. Get busy. Well, nobody get busy, man. Get busy. Council of Light. Yeah, divine orchestration. Like I said, it's like that Bruce Lee movie. It's like, how is he even getting through all these people? Well, it's like his ancestors knew. He was on that mission, avenging his, I believe it was his sister's death, right? Yeah. There was somebody on his side, wasn't there? And nobody else could see him. Okay. And here comes this little, what, 125-pound man come in, takes down an entire island. Right. I love those noises he makes, right? Yeah. Anyway. Maybe that's for somebody this weekend in your winter movie marathon. Okay. Um, not everybody goes out and does the nightlife boogie, right? Some people like to stay in, especially during the cold months. So please do take this message, manifest wisely with it, right? Use your own discernment. Obviously, not every part of the message is for you. However, there's a lot of good stuff here, collective, for you if you choose to claim it, right? Because guess what? There's other people trying to reclaim your time. Why? Ask yourself why if you don't know why. Why? What do you know that they don't know? Hmm? 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 Okay. So don't let them come to you at the end of the year and say, "Well, I don't really see it." Well, then I guess you didn't really need me around, did you? Right? Say, well, maybe I guess it's time for me to start looking for another job if my contribution is not really valid here or valued, right? Yeah, exactly. Gratitude for the people that we interact with, and and it's not a matter of, try harder, try harder, try harder. You ever hear of beating a dead horse? Right? Everybody wants to make up have the new catchphrase on the t-shirt, have the new bumper sticker so they can make $1 million with their easy idea. Well, did you ever, actually listen to the old ideas and pay attention to them in the first place? Maybe it might have gotten you somewhere where you didn't have to beat a dead horse. Then you won't be in this predicament, right? But again, let me be the one channeling that for you. Okay. You can just perhaps say a simple no, a simple I don't have time right now, a simple leaving them on red, a simple you might have to just walk, right? Because what you do with your time is not their concern, it's not their business, right? And that's where I really feel like you're strongly going to be protecting your energy in this new year, just 2025. I really do. You're gonna have that kind of eagle vision, that third eye, um, reflecting the situation almost back to you, and instantly you're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna know whether or not, like, you know what I mean? You're coming into your decision making, right? Yeah. For some people they call it adulting, right? Some people be like, adulting for a long time. Well, some people think they've been adulting, and anyway. Anyway, that's maybe somebody's personal reading there. So we don't have time to get into right now because I'm not dealing with some of that kind of stuff right now. Anyway, I do recommend you because I'm not doing personal readings right now, you guys. So remember, this is a collective read. If you do need a personal reading, definitely, meet up with a local reader. There's nothing to be, don't be scared. Okay. I think a lot of people get intimidated, but even myself as a reader, I've gotten readings from other people, not only to confirm what I was thinking, feeling, but also confirming my own abilities. I was like, okay, yeah, this is literally like, yeah, okay. So, that's the thing about where we're at. Like, you know, um, some people are in the other extreme of codependency where they're not going to make a move unless this other person makes a move. Now, removing yourself from that, it's like, okay, it's time for me to go and make these moves. Maybe reaching out to a reader is how I'm going to help confirm some things, right? The same way as somebody else in your family might reach out to their local parish reverend or something, or elder at the church or something, if they had something to talk about. Okay, so definitely seek out those possibilities. Again, I think I mentioned Al-Anon earlier in the reading. So if you're dealing with these mayors and queens of these little villas that have just brought so much trouble in and out, it's time to reinforce those boundaries. It's time to reinforce the positive structures that you've built for yourself. It's time to reinforce part of that mindset with a community of like minds. All right. It's going to make you a lot stronger. So please do seek that out in 2025. So until next time, please do manifest.